Alright guys, so day 2, I went to Edinburgh. In Edinburgh, so I had to walk to the subway, and then on the subway I had to get off and go to the train station, and then from the train station I ended up in Edinburgh. It's about a 50-minute train ride between Glasgow and Edinburgh, so it's not too far. And taking their public transit system is so wonderful. So wonderful. So if you live in Europe and you get to ride the public transportation system, know that yours is much better than the area that I live in. So be thankful because it's amazing. So I made it to Edinburgh, and I was planning on doing a meet and greet, and I had set up this place to meet everybody. And Edinburgh is set up very weird, let me tell you. So it's a very old city, very old city, which, you know, obviously Scotland has a lot of rich history, which is something that I absolutely love about it. So something of the history of Edinburgh is they started off, and if you want to find out the whole story, you might want to look it up. But basically, they walled themselves in to protect themselves, and long story short, they ended up being stuck inside those walls. And let me tell you, the population grew, but the land did not. So what happened was they ended up having to build streets above streets. And then the population grew some more, so they had to build streets below streets. And finally the population grew and the walls ended up coming down, but because of all of that, there's streets on top of streets, and they're not really in straight lines. And on top of all of that, there are a lot of closest, which are kind of like alleyways. So basically those closest are about that much wider than a person. Not very wide at all. And if you go down the wrong one, you're going to be climbing a lot of stairs. And I did that. Streets that I was not supposed to be on, because I was supposed to be on streets below the streets. However, it made for some great pictures. However, it made for it to be very confusing to find the place that I was actually supposed to be. But when I got to the street above the street that I was supposed to be on, I finally knew where I was, and I was like, okay, no problem, I just have to get down, and then I'll be there, and that's fine. So finding the way down wasn't an issue, thankfully. So here are some pictures from Edinburgh, from the castle. Actually, I didn't go in the castle, but I went around the castle, and some just beautiful pictures that I took while I was in Edinburgh. And the one that I will put in next will be the street above the street that I was supposed to be in, and maybe you'll see what I mean.